right, Matrixx and Rhodes show supporters, we're going to talk a little bit about Hollywood because there's been a bit of a bombshell out there that's been dropped involving a couple of stars from what was once a very popular television show back in the 90s called Boy Meets World. And I don't know, a lot of people, it started the career of Ryder Strong and Topanga, I believe Lawrence, last name Lawrence was in that. She became very famous, and what we do know is in Hollywood, there is no shortage of scumbags. And these scumbags want to prey on the innocent. A lot of children, child stars. We still don't know exactly what happened involving Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, Charlie Sheen, all that kind of thing that John Matrixx at one time covered at length on this channel. But Ryder Strong and Will Friedle have come out and said that some very despicable things happened while they were starring on that show. I think there are some very powerful people in Hollywood that hope every day that they do not get exposed, that the curtain does not get pulled back in what I can only describe as probably an extremely demented sort of cocktail of inner circles spread throughout Hollywood. Let's get to this. This is Breitbart, and my God, we're always talking allegedly at this point, but here we go. ABC Boy Meets World stars Ryder Strong and Will Friedle claim that they were groomed by fellow actor Brian Peck when he guest starred on the hit TV series. Strong and Friedle recalled their experience with Peck, who played Cowboy Number 2 in 2 episodes of Boy Meets World during a conversation with family therapist Katie Morton on Monday's episode of the iHeart podcast Pod Meets World. I think that's gotten a pretty big following. Brian Peck, let's just pull him up. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, I recognize this guy. I do. Let me make sure this is coming out on my screen. Yeah, right. That guy right there on the right. Let me just pull this over a hair and then we'll cut back. Okay, there we go. Wow. Wow, yeah, I remember this guy on a character actor on a lot of different shows. Okay, let me just pull this back over and we will be off and running again. Okay, so that's the guy that supposedly did these acts to these two, what at the time would have been very young actors. The actors said that they hadn't realized what was happening at the time, but that situation is now clearer in hindsight. Yeah, I don't know that term grooming came around till what? The last maybe 5 years or so is when I first started hearing it. Quote, I didn't go to parties. I didn't really do that stuff, Friedle, who played Eric Matthews on the show, said. But I was working a lot after Boy Meets World, and this guy had so integrated himself into my life, I took him to 3 shows after Boy Meets World. This type of thing where the person he presented was this great, funny guy who was really good at his job and you wanted to hang out with him, the actor said. I saw him every day, hung out with him every day, talked to him every day. Peck was convicted of sexually abusing an unnamed Nickelodeon star. Wow, child actor in 2004, just 4 years after the final episode of Boy Meets World aired. He spent 16 months in prison. So this guy's a total scumbag. He's actually done time for this crap. Friedle went on to explain that when this happened, Peck changed the narrative, claiming that he himself was the victim in the situation. Quote, to look back at that and then him telling me what happened and then instantly spinning it to where it wasn't his fault. It was clearly the fault of his victim. My initial instinct, because of the year I had been with him, was like, well, of course, it can't be you, Friedle said. And then I look back at that as an adult, and it makes me want to cry that I was ever that naive. Friedle, who was around 17 when Boy Meets World started and 24 when the show ended, also said, one of the reasons I'm struggling so much with this and it bothers me for so long is because I wasn't 15, I was like 19. And because I had been an actor for so long, because I've been living by myself, I want to look back and think I was worldly, and there's no way that I could have been taken advantage of at that age. There's no way that I could have been manipulated like that because I was an adult. And that's one of the things that's really sticking with me more than anything else. Boy Meets World co-star Danielle Fishel, who played Topanga Lawrence. Okay, Danielle Fishel is the actress's name. Topanga Lawrence that character became massively popular. She became massively popular. I remember that. On the series also noted that Peck, unlike most guest stars on the show, wanted to spend as much time as he could with the main cast. Fishel also blamed, quote, the other adults on the set who maybe could have or should have said, why are you going to lunch with this guy? Why are you going to Ryder's house for a party? Strong also played Sean Hunter on the ABC series, also recalled, quote, hanging out with older men as if they were peers. That was something that happened often, and I remember my parents being kind of upset about one of them, being like, why are you hanging out with this guy? He's in his 40s. And I remember saying to my dad, well, that's the that's person's the kind of like a permanent kid. I can think of 3 men in my life that I was friends with who were sort of childlike. Oh, God. Oh, God. They were stunted and they were aware of that and would talk about themselves like, I am kind of a permanent teenager. And we, as teenagers who wanted to be older, would be like, well, that makes them a cool person because they like us, except they can buy us alcohol. Look, these scumbags know exactly what they're doing. They know they can find a group of friends. I remember even when I was coming up and we were partying, you'd have this one like older person that would come into the group and you were like, yeah, this guy's giving me creep show vibes. Let's make sure we don't go around this person again. You know, but these people in Hollywood, you know, they got people of all ages around them continuously all the time. Strong added that there was a feeling of meeting each other halfway, given that he felt older and more independent than others around his age due to him being an actor on a hit television show. And that is truly disturbing to recognize now. In 2003, Peck had reached out to Strong and Friedle when he was accused of child sexual abuse, asking them for support in court. The actors did, but they said they now regret getting involved. There's an actual victim here, and he turned us against the victim to where we're now on his team, Friedle said. That's the thing where, to me, I look back at that as my ever-loving shame for this entire thing. Getting taken in by somebody who's a good actor and a manipulator, I could chalk that up to being young, and that's the way it is. He added, it's awful. Wow. And you just got to wonder, I mean, this stuff's got to be all over Hollywood. And think about this. Back in the day when there wasn't so much media coverage, people weren't aware of what quote-unquote grooming was, and that there was a group of scumbag adults all throughout society, and especially in Hollywood among these celebrities that were, you know, putting their arms around underage kids or very young adults like they were in order to take that to the next sinister level. God, man, I tell you what, it's kind of sad that people want to be involved and want, you know, you want to become an actor or an actress, okay, that's fine, but it's almost like you're trading in your soul to be able to do it. You know, and of course we all know about Weinstein and that repugnant crap, but, you know, it doesn't help that there's an entire group of the progressive left in society that is wanting to normalize people just like this dude, this Brian Peck dude. And the media's got their back. It's just an avalanche of sickness. You got these kids, these people reaching out to kids on social media and all that kind of thing behind the scenes. It's gross. It really is gross. Wow, that's crazy that they look back now and they're like, oh, that's what was going on with us. That's what this guy was trying to do, and we didn't even realize it. Too young, naive. And those scumbags know this. They're very aware of this. Tell me what you think. Matrixx and Rhodes Show supporters, hit that like button, hit subscribe. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.